I don't either.
Like, what kind of long jump Carl Lewis leap are we making here? They traded up to wreck his career. That's how diabolical the Browns are. They traded up so that they could say, screw the Sanders family.
We're going to show him.
We're going to run a ball into the ground. What he's very clearly saying for anybody with a lick of common sense is when they left the building Friday night, when he kept falling and kept falling and kept falling on Saturday, regardless of whose decision it was to move up to get him, as an organization, they made the decision to move up to get him, not because they're trying to tank this poor kid's career, because they have a job open at quarterback.
He could be speaking to the city of Cleveland as if to say, don't blame me for this one. That is the man that gave Deshaun Watson guaranteed $230 million, which right now is going down as arguably the worst trade in NFL history.
Shedeur Sanders' flashes in training camp have sparked a major debate. Why are the Browns holding him back? He's undoubtedly the best QB they've had in years, yet they're pushing him down the depth chart, giving players like Dillon Gabriel priority. It started with Stephen A. Smith and Louis Riddick raising eyebrows, but now Jason Lloyd has jumped in and the pressure's building. Why is Shedeur Sanders, with all his talent, being kept on the bench? Is this a decision the Browns will regret? Let's dive into the controversy and break it all down.
Get a ton of snaps in this preseason, and let's see what he can do. But the idea that they're trying to sabotage him is so stupid that I just can't even, I'm just done. I can't even wrap my head around it. And to try and to manipulate what he said into some idea that he didn't want, or that they didn't want him.
James Lloyd didn't hold back, calling out Browns management for what he sees as a clear attempt to sabotage Shedeur Sanders' progress. He specifically went after team owner Jimmy Haslam, questioning why Haslam is standing in the way of a QB who's only trying to help the team. Lloyd pointed out that Shedeur's been working tirelessly, putting in the reps at training camp and showing up strong every day. But despite all of that, the Browns are still trying to hold him down. Lloyd's question was simple. Why is the front office trying to sabotage someone who's clearly putting in the work? James Lloyd didn't stop there. He slammed Haslam for trying to manipulate the narrative, saying it's just wrong for an owner to claim they didn't want a rookie like Shedeur Sanders. According to Lloyd, there's no way an NFL owner should be making such damaging statements about a player, especially a promising rookie who's been working hard to earn his place. Lloyd called it unbelievable that Haslam would publicly undermine Shedeur like this, adding that there's no justification for the kind of talk that's been thrown his way. Shedeur's dedication to the game should be the focus, not these petty comments.
And to try and to manipulate what he said into some idea that he didn't want, or that they didn't want him, like, I just don't understand how you can make that. I would love someone to logically explain it to me.
On the flip side, Garrett Bush had a different take. He fired back, saying there's no way Shedeur Sanders can be sabotaged. Bush argued that the statement Jimmy Haslam made is only going to hurt him in the long run. According to Garrett, you can't keep a talent like Shedeur sidelined for long. Fans will start questioning the decision, and the pressure will build on Haslam and the Browns. While Bush acknowledged that this move might backfire, he still emphasized that it's wrong for management to put a young player in this position, especially when he's showing he's ready to compete. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back either. He absolutely lit into Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam. Stephen went all in, calling Haslam a coward for his recent remarks about Shedeur Sanders. He ripped into him, saying it was a pathetic, transparent attempt to deflect blame. According to Stephen, this wasn't about Haslam owning up to his mistakes. It was a weak, desperate move to cover up his own failures, especially when it comes to not drafting Shedeur in the first place. Stephen made it clear. Haslam's actions were a blatant attempt to protect his own ego, and it was an all-time bad look.
He could be speaking to the city of Cleveland as if to say, don't blame me for this one. That is the man that gave Deshaun Watson guaranteed $230 million, which right now is going down as arguably the worst trade in NFL history.
Stephen was crystal clear this wasn't a mistake. This wasn't about his game, it was personal. This was a targeted move, a message aimed directly at Deion Sanders. And the message, "We'll come after your son to get to you." That was the play. That was the plan. Because let's be honest, there was no football reason for a quarterback as gifted as Shedeur Sanders to fall all the way to the 5th round. The only explanation? There were people in the league who made damn sure he would.
If you'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur.
And Stephen A. Smith wasn't letting Jimmy Haslam off the hook, not for a second. After Haslam casually claimed he didn't even think about signing Shedeur Sanders, while driving back, Stephen zeroed in on that statement and called it what it really was, not random, not offhand, but part of a much bigger plan. Stephen made it crystal clear. This wasn't just about passing on a player. This was about making sure Shedeur never got the opportunity he earned. According to Stephen, this wasn't just front office politics. It wasn't just bad scouting. This was intentional. Haslam, and a select few others, Stephen said, weren't just playing the draft game, they were manipulating it, actively working behind the scenes to keep Shedeur off the radar, to make sure he didn't get signed. This wasn't neglect, it was sabotage.
You understand what's going on here. That's why Haslam was in his car on a Friday talking about, I can't see it happening.
Deion Sanders has also finally broken his silence on his son, Shedeur Sanders, and his words couldn't be more powerful. In a heartfelt moment during training camp coverage, Coach Prime opened up about Shedeur's mindset, work ethic, and growth. Deion made it clear that Shedeur was never unprepared when he dunked into the interviews. All of that negative stuff against him is a lie. Deion made it clear that he knows his son.
Hey man, he's unflappable. We have been through so much as a family, as athletes, that he is prepared for everything. The only thing that really hurt me, when they started the line and saying he wasn't prepared or he was this or he came in with headphones on. I know my sheep. I know my son. I know what I raised. I know better than that. Shedeur ain't never.
Louis Riddick came in hot. He wasn't having any of it either. He dissected Haslam's comments and tore them apart, piece by piece. Riddick made it abundantly clear Shedeur Sanders was not being given a fair shake, and he wasn't about to let this bogus narrative fly under the radar. He outright rejected the idea that Shedeur was getting an equal opportunity, calling it exactly what it was: a blatant misrepresentation of reality, a cover story, a spin job. And then Riddick hit the room with something that made everybody pause. He pointed out something huge, something everyone completely missed. Shedeur Sanders didn't even allow his own father Deion to come watch him at training camp. Why? Because of how poorly he was being treated. 4 reps a day. 4. And Riddick looked straight into the camera and asked the question that stopped everyone in their tracks. Is that fair?
One, he has to have opportunity.
He get
to
opportunity.
do that. Well,
He
okay.
get opportunity.
His own father said he didn't want him to come to training camp because he doesn't get any reps. Okay? His own father said he doesn't want me to come to training camp because he said, Dad, I'm getting maybe 3 or 4 reps of practice.
And Louis Riddick wasn't pulling any punches. He kept it real, reminding everyone of a hard truth in the NFL. When you're drafted as low as Shedeur Sanders was, you don't get chances handed to you. You only make it if someone in the building is willing to fight for you, someone standing on the table saying, this kid belongs here. But that's exactly what had Riddick's frustration boiling over. Because right now, nobody even knows who in the organization pushed for Shedeur in the first place. Who stuck their neck out? Who believed in him enough to bring his name up in that war room or front office? That kind of uncertainty, that lack of backing, in Riddick's eyes, it put Shedeur at an even greater disadvantage. Because in this league, if no one's advocating for you, you get left behind. Period. In the end, it's clear. Shedeur Sanders' situation with the Cleveland Browns has sparked a firestorm, and it's only getting bigger. The question remains, why is a talent like Shedeur being held back when everything points to him being the future? From Stephen A. Smith to Louis Riddick and Jason Lloyd, the frustration is palpable. There's a growing sense that the Browns front office, especially Jimmy Haslam, is playing a dangerous game, and it's not just about football, it's personal. Haslam's comments, dismissing Shedeur and questioning his worth, have created a backlash that's hard to ignore. Lloyd and others are calling out the manipulation and sabotage, while Garrett Bush makes it clear that no matter how hard they try to push Shedeur down, fans and the league will soon demand answers. Deion Sanders, Shedeur's biggest advocate, has also broken his silence, reinforcing the idea that Shedeur has done nothing but work hard and prove himself. As the pressure mounts, it's only a matter of time before the Browns are forced to make a choice: continue to play these games or embrace the future with one of the most gifted quarterbacks they've seen in years.